Hey there, everybody. It's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's comedy drama, The Oval, Season 5, Episode 19, Breaking News. And honey, we was getting some breaking news because this week started the same way last week's ended, with Nancy coming down those steps and seeing a body. But before we jump into that, if you're new here and haven't subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button. If you're old here and haven't subscribed as of yet, you please do the same thing. Hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all, and it'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button. You know that's the thumbs up button. Write a comment so you could join the conversation and share, because sharing is caring. So let's jump right in. So we got Nancy inside. She sees a body. Sam comes around looking for Nancy. He's actually calling her phone. Like I said, somebody pick up the phone and call. You can hear a little ringing, but he doesn't know where it's coming from. Then he calls Richard and asks him, did Nancy call? And he said, yeah, but I didn't answer. He said, what's going on? And he said, she got a call, she said, from Barry. And I'm here looking for her, but I don't see her. And Richard's like, well, I'm about to get off work. Give me the address. So Richard gets the address. Sam decides to go up those same steps that Nancy went up, and he could hear, he's calling again, he could hear the phone ringing. He goes down in there with the gun pointed out, and he sees Nancy passed out on the floor. So he gets her up, and there's a body tied to the chair. The head is down, and their arms are tied behind the chair, and it looks like the same outfit that, Barry had on, the yellow sweatshirt and stuff. So we're like, okay, what is going on here? So he calls 911, get the police coming, and EMS and everybody's there. They don't know if it's if it's Barry or not. Because the body is beat up pretty bad, and poor Nancy's like, oh my God, oh Lord, and here comes Richard pushing in there, want to know what's happening. I said, see, your butt should have paid attention when Nancy was calling you, but you so stubborn, you're an old stubborn fool, and you need to check yourself with that. Anyhow, she's like, oh, Richard. And Richard's like, oh, I want to see him. I want to see the body. He's like, no, Sam is trying to stop him from seeing the body. He looks real bad. And he's like, I'm going to see my son and see if it's him. And then he goes over there and see it. He pushes all the EMS people or whoever out of the way, the police. And he's like, oh my God. And he runs out like he going to throw up by the car. And then Nancy come running out behind him. Richard, she's trying to... And he's holding her and holding her tight. And Sam is like, take her home. Take her home. He's like, no, I'm going to stay here and stuff. He said, look, it's a crime scene now because he's dead. And he's like, no, it can't be. She's like, no, not Barry. All of that was going on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm giving y'all the information. So Sam finally talked him into giving taking Nancy home. I was like, what they going to do with her car? Her car is sitting there. I didn't see no ambulances around, but I do see her car there. Anywho, so Sam said, I'll be there. I'll make sure everything goes smooth. Because Richard wasn't hardly trying to leave that body there. And so he left with Nancy. So now back at the White House, Kyle comes to see Donald. Donald's like, where you been? He said, no, I was just over here, whatever. And he's like, well, what's going on? He said, you haven't been giving me any attention. He said, you seen somebody else? He said, no, I wouldn't do that to you. He said, well, we got a problem. What is it? First Lady has been giving Hunter, the president, I guess he said, some medication that's messing with his nerves and blah, blah, blah. I figured you would know what it was. And he said, I have no idea. But if it's causing him not to stand, of course it is messing with the nerves. So he told him, I want you to go in there and get it out of the medicine cabinet. She's concerned that he will find it. But I thought it was something different. I thought Victoria wanted that medicine so she could keep putting it in Hunter's food. But I think Donald wants it so she can't put it in there because he needs Hunter to get his strength back so he could become the president again. So I have no idea why he didn't tell Kyle that, since Kyle is his right-hand man. But anyway, he told Kyle to make sure he get it done tonight. He said, and don't leave and come back until it is done. So they said once he goes on the move, because he knows that dummy's going to want to go see Victoria, talk about Hunter, he said, then you could slip in there and get it. because they know because he has the new detail, that's the only time they could probably go in there and get the medicine out. So now Hunter goes in there to say goodnight to Alan, telling him that he'll see him bright and early in the morning. He said, yes, sir. So he leaves. And next thing you know, Kyle comes in there and Alan's like, oh, like, what are you, can I get you something? He's like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on between you and Dale. He said, nothing's going on. He's like, geez, you don't have to get so upset. And he rolled his eyes like a little biatch. I was like, what is wrong with Kyle? And he walked out. So Donald is leaving out of the building, through security, and he sees Agent, and he asks Agent, did you get that information I asked for you? And he said, yeah. He said, okay, where was he? So Agent gives him the address, and he said, and how long was he there? He said, about 30 minutes. He said, okay. He said, sir, is there anything you'd like for me to do? He said, no, just keep an eye on him. He said, Donald asked him, did you know whose address that is? He said, yes, it's Alan's. So he's had detail watching Kyle, and they're going to continue to watch him. I told y'all, Kyle's going to end up getting Dale shot again or killed because of his dumb, narcissistic, evil behind. I can't believe this, that he's trying to force Dale, threaten him and blackmail him into staying with him, not thinking that Donald won't find out. So now we have Bobby showing up with Simone to the Oval, but Eli's unavailable. He's in there in a meeting with his cabinet. So Simone says she'll wait, in his office. Of course, Max is standing there saying, okay, ma'am, he opens the door for him. Would you like to wait? Blah, blah, blah. So she asks Bobby to get her some tea, something calming. And he's like, yes, ma'am. And so when she goes inside, Max is just smirking and he's like, hurry up, go get her some tea. Go, go, go. So anyway, we have Sam now going into the kitchen, and Priscilla's looking at him, and he's like, Priscilla, and she's like, I know you not even trying to talk to me. And he's looking at her and he says, Barry's dead. And she's like, oh, what happened? All of a sudden she's so concerned. I'm so sorry. And she's acting like she's distraught, but now she want to talk to him. What happened? He said, I don't know. And she looked like she about to fall apart. And he tells her, Nancy's going to need you, And she's like, yes. And she's like, and he's like, oh, he said, do you need to talk? You want to talk? And all of a sudden she looked at him and said, get the hell out of here, Sam, turning back to her evil old self. I said, you know what, Priscilla, when somebody dies, you need to roll back all that evilness and be a nicer person, because that could be you. And first of all, you should have been saying to Sam, I'm sorry about that, because it was Sam's godson. So she's telling him to get out. And at this point, that's when Bobby comes in and says the first lady wants some tea. She's like, the first lady? Yes, Simone. She said, oh, okay. And then she's like, oh, Bobby, I just got some bad news. What are you doing later? You want to hang out? And Sam looks at her and said, Priscilla, I just told you Barry is dead. And you want to do this? Yes, Sam, maybe you need to find somebody else to do that too or something. Well, yes. And she's rubbing on, Bobby and pulling on his lapel. And he's like, Priscilla, and she's like, I'm just so distraught. And the way she's acting is like, you didn't really even give a damn about Barry then. You couldn't have cared about Barry if you're trying to use him as his death as a way to get back at Sam with Bobby. It was pathetic what she did. She was totally pathetic. But Sam stood there and said he wasn't leaving. And he stood right there, and Bobby looked at him, and Sam did not flinch. He kept staring at him, and Bobby finally left. And Priscilla was so pissed. He's like, are you done now? And she's like, I'm just getting started. So Sam let her know, I already shot that bastard once. And she said, well, you're going to have to shoot the president too, because I'm definitely going to have sex with him. I need you to feel the hell that you put me through. I'm like, girl, you're going to make yourself feel stupid, and you're going to feel like a piece of trash. That's what you're going to do. He had 5 minutes of sex with this woman, and you going on for a month with the BS. I don't even feel sorry for Priscilla anymore. I've been stopped feeling sorry for her. She want to make herself a hoe and sleep with Bobby and the president. Go and be the White House hoe if you want. And see how you feel about yourself in the morning. So now we got Bobby back over there with Max. They're standing in front of the two doors because he's Eli's detail. He's Simone's detail, And they start talking about the people that from the FBI agents that they met. And then Max asked about how things went in the kitchen because he knew that Sam was in there with Priscilla. And then, he asked about how the Simone was doing it. And Bobby got upset thinking he was asking about how she was in bed. And he was like, no, I'm talking about the tape, how she's doing. And then he goes, let me get this right. You showed her the tape. Didn't you slept with her? He said, yeah. And he said, and then she wanted more. Could you believe that? He said, oh, you really are a dirty ass, whole bag slut. I said, oh my God, Max called him. I said, okay, that's a lot of names right there. And Bobby's like, hey, I don't judge you. And he said, of course you do, because I don't do stuff like that. Anyway, Max reminds him that he got shot by Sam, and now he don't know. Simone might make up with Eli, and Eli come after him. He don't know. And he's like, she won't do that. She won't do that. He said, you don't know. Then Priscilla comes up smiling and stuff. And Max is like, she said, I got tea for Simone. And so Max lets her in there, and she's talking. She's asking Simone if she's okay. Do you need anything? Make sure you got to stay strong. And remember, this is the long game. And all of that stuff she's telling her. I can't wait till Simone tell Priscilla she slept with Bobby. That's all I want to do. I want to see that episode when it comes out. Priscilla going to be so pissed she ain't going to want to have nothing to do with Bobby no more. You watch. Or she might turn on Simone. So she asked Simone, do she need something stronger than some tea? And Simone said, that's the last thing I need. I said, yeah, because the last time she was getting drunk, she kept saying all this stupid stuff and talking too damn much is what she did. So anyway, she said she's just going to talk to Eli. This is her first time seeing him since after finding out about him having sex with Victoria in the Oval Office the other night. So now we got Hunter talking to Agent Isaac. He want to know, did they find his son yet? And they're like, no, I got my best guys on him. I want him found. How could you not find him? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you got to be kidding now. You think everybody could just find people just like this? Come on, your son is very slick. And he been missing for quite a moment. So, and Agent Isaac is like, we'll get to him, don't worry. So now Hunter wants his walker so he could go down to see Victoria. And Agent Isaac is like, but the doctor said, I don't think you'd be strong enough. You don't know me. You don't know if I'm strong enough. How long have you known me? You haven't known me that long. Hunter's doing all of that. So he brings the walker over. He can't stand up. He about to fall and hurt himself. So he's like, get the wheelchair. Because Agent Isaac already had the wheelchair ready for him. But Hunter had to play like he was so strong, and he realized he really wasn't. So now we got Sam meeting up with Lena in some room. I don't know where it is. And he's telling her that, he want to take her now to meet to the secret place or whatever it is. And he's telling her, but we can't be seen together. So I need you to meet me on the corner of this and that. And I'll meet you there and then we'll go. And she's like, can I give my boss the heads up? He's like, Lena, how long have you known me? Quite a while. Okay, then trust me. You got to trust me. She's like, okay. So now we have Alan getting home, and he's asking Dale, what did he want to talk about? And, Dale is doing all that, I just want to, I think I'm going to go back to Kyle's. He's like, look, what is it that you want to talk about? And he tells him that he used to have a past, and I was laughing because Alan said the same thing as me. We all had a past, you know what I mean? And he said he was an escort, and then he told him about the pimp, and then he told him how Kyle got in touch with him and he's threatening him. So now he has to do what he has to do and go back to Kyle's. And then he told him that they killed his parents. And he's like, what? He said, Kyle told me that the pimp killed my parents and stuff. So the way he was telling it, Alan just got done with him. And he was like, okay, well, do what you got to do and go. And he's like, well, why are you giving me all of this? He said, because I'm tired of all of this all of this stuff that's going on. Dale said, you acting like you jealous. He said, no, I'm not. He said, but it's probably like Kyle said, you like the thrill and the danger of all of this. You love it. And he said, no, I don't. And Alan said, just do what you got to do then. Go over there. And he walked away and went to his bedroom. So now we have Eli finishing his cabinet meeting, and he's asking Max, did he send word to the first lady that he wanted to see him? And he said, yeah, I did. He said, well, she didn't come. That's odd. And he said, yes, it is. He said, can you find her? He said, yes, I can. And then he said, but your wife is here. He said, what's that? Your wife is here waiting for you. He said, oh, okay. Well, send her in and then stand by on that. He said, I got you, sir. He said, I knew you would, meaning don't go find Victoria yet. But then he stands there talking to Simone. He never hugged her. She comes in there being the bigger person and apologizing to him. And he's like, how silly would it be for me to be messing with her? You're the only girl for me. La, 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 la. BS, 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 and all of that. So she said, I know, and I'm sorry. And he said he was sorry. She said, for what? And he said, because I was exhausted, meaning he was exhausted, and that's why he couldn't have sex with her, I guess. So she let him know that her emotions got the best of her and she overreacted, you know, and so that it was only right for her to apologize. And he said he thanked her for that or whatever. So then she was like, will you be home or we going home together? And he's like, no, you go ahead home. He said, I'll be home later. She said, should I wait up? He said, no, it'll be late. You going to bed. I said, because he going to try to get some from Victoria. And she's like, okay. But he tried to kiss her and she turned her cheek so he could kiss her cheek. I said, good girl. Good for you, Simone. I was proud of that move. So Sam shows up to Richard and Nancy's house and he lets them know that they did get the DNA back and it was Barry. And they were falling apart. Poor Nancy. Oh, no. And she was running, trying to run up the stairs. She fell on the steps, crawling up the stairs to go to the bedroom. Richard is like, oh, man, he's up against the wall, crying in tears. And he's so mad. And he started trying to blame Nancy for stuff. Like she shouldn't have gone there. He should have been there first and all this stuff. And Sam told him she couldn't have saved him. He was dead for a few days. It wasn't just that day. But I'm like, she called you, Richard. You should have came there. She shouldn't have had to call Sam. So Sam kept saying he's sorry. And he said, I'll call Priscilla so she could stay with Nancy and check on Nancy. He said, good, because I ain't got nothing. He got tears running down his face. Richard is just like distraught right now. So he gets up talking about he want to go out. He just want to be alone. And Sam is like, where you going? And he was like kind of blocking him like he didn't want him to go anywhere. And he's like, look, you could go home unless you could bring me my son back or the name of the person who did this to him. And all Sam could say to him is, I'm sorry, man. And Richard walked away. So now we have Agent calling Kyle, letting him know that the president is moving. He said, we got eyes on him. And Kyle is like, okay, so let me know when he's on his way back. And Agent is like, okay, cool. So now we have Agent Isaac taking Hunter into the infirmary to see Victoria. And she trying to pretend she's asleep. And Hunter was like, you not sleep. Because he about to pick up his hand and slap her. She said, you do that and I'll get up out of his bed and kill you. Something like that. And she's like, but you got me chained to the bed. I didn't know she was chained to the bed. She locked up. I was like, boy, Hunter is not playing. So she told him he was stupid and calling him names. And he's telling her, you tried to kill me. He let her know you broke my heart. And that's why I'm going to get even with you. You think you know what you're doing? She's like, you don't know what you're doing. He said, no, I got you this time. He told her that she's like, you're going to throw away everything we built. He's like, stupid. You the one who thrown away everything we built. Do you understand that Eli's the president? So we no longer have any power to do anything. And he said, which is why you probably pulled this little stunt here, because now you think you could go and call your daddy and hopefully he's going to fix everything. But that ain't going to work this time. I said, uh-oh, Hunter is not playing. He said, I'm talking to Jason and he's going to tell everything. And Victoria's eyes opened up like, what? He said, and I'm talking to Gail and she's going to talk. She's like, she's not going to say anything. He said, she hates you. Yes, she will. I said, oh, man. And Victoria's like, I will not go down alone. He said, Victoria, when I'm finished with you, you're going to be on an island of misery by yourself. And I'm going to look like the battered husband that I am. And see, even though he didn't do anything, all the little antics that she did seemed to be worse than him not doing his job, if you ask me. So she's telling him he better be careful because it's all going to backfire on him. And he's not even concerned. And she's like, Hunter, you need to listen to me. And he's like, Agent Isaac, I'm ready to go. And she's like, Hunter. And he just have Agent Isaac roll him away and he closed the door on her and leave her in the infirmary. And then it ends with Sam showing up to wherever this place is that he has Jason hidden, I guess. I don't know what it is. I swear we saw a washing machine in there. And he got him in a laundry room or something. In a basement laundry room. I don't know. But anyway, he comes in there with Lena with her eyes, with the blindfold on. And he sits her down in the chair. And when he turns on those lights and take her blindfold off and show her Jason, she's like, what the hell? You know, her reaction is a little different than I expected. He's dead. This is not real. She's done. Oh, you don't need me. I'm not prepared for this. I can't do it. You need my boss. He said, I don't trust your boss. Keywords, I don't trust your boss. So she is like kind of freaking out, and Jason's like, maybe she's not ready, she can't do it and stuff. And I was like, woman, he's telling you could probably get a Pulitzer for this interview, and you sitting here acting like a dummy instead of jumping on it. You know what I mean? So I was a little taken back by her whole reaction, how she was acting. But he kept saying, relax, you can do it, you can do it. Anyway, back at the White House, we got Kyle going through the bathroom drawers, looking for this medication, and Priscilla comes in and catches him and said, what are you doing in here? And that's just how it went off, just like that. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts, views, what you liked, did not like, or whatever. And I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.